Hallelujah chorus of the Emerald Band got everyone bubbly with the spluttering of feathers and the fizzles in around the cozy confines of the International Cultural and Event Center, Akure, Ondo State, on Tuesday, August the 25th, 2020. These sprinkles of vitality were an obvious celebration of the life of a morally upright man by all standards, and an evangelist in the Christ Apostolic Church, the late Bamidele Olumilua, who died on June 4th, 2020, at the age of 80.
Our high priest did when he was alive. May God Almighty grant all souls that have departed eternal rest, and may light perpetual continue to shine on our departed leader. Thank you.
Only one life to live. It will soon be over. Only what is done for Christ will last. Teach us to number our days, that we may put our hearts to wisdom. As I heard those words being read today, it resonated with me. And I believe that it resonates with my siblings, because those words we heard on a regular basis. Our father was very cognizant of time. He was well aware that this was one resource that God in his wisdom gave equally to all men, whether in the palace or in the prison. Each man, each woman is granted 24 hours. There's no favoritism there. It now depends on us and what we do with that time. My father's life has come to an end, but his legacy lives on.
Bamidele Olumilua was a former governor of the old Ondo State between 1992 and 1993, where he built for himself an indelible name and an iconic structure, not in terms of material things, but in integrity, impeccable character, charity, love, and godliness. Hence, the commendation service organized by the Ondo State government in Akure. The funeral obsequies for this great man continued on Friday, August 28, 2020 in Ikere, Ekiti at the Great Expectations Hall, where everyone gathered for the burial service. As the children of the deceased, family members, and other top guests settled in, the service began in earnest with a soft rendition of hymns. Baba's eldest son, Olumilua, took the only Bible reading. The major highlight of the service was a special rendition of one of Baba's favorite songs by the children. Then the old students of St. Louis Girls Grammar School, Ikere, Ekiti, then renowned gospel musician, alongside the children, sang a special hymn. his sermon, while talking about the way Baba served God while in the position of authority, Evangelist Ezekiel Falade stressed on the inevitability of death.
Will you be able to rapture with the Almighty God? Will you be able to make level? If Christ comes today, what will be your position? Where will you be? Because death is inevitable. You are going to die one day. Some people will be living their lives as if they are not going to die again. As if they will be in this world forever. It is not possible, my brothers and sisters. One day is one day. One day you will be brought to the church like this. One day you'll be in this type of a thing. One day you'll be committed to the mother heart, just like this. Brethren, I want to encourage us today to know that one day is one day. That this day we are talking about is inevitable.
While expressing his heartfelt condolences to the family of Baba and the people of Ekiti, the host governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, spoke eloquently about the sterling virtues of the former governor.
The people of Ekiti State and the government of Ekiti State thank our father immensely for his service to our people, for his love for this community, and for his compassion to all of Ekiti people. He embraced all of us, regardless of party affiliation, scolded us, chastised us if he had to, but loved us dearly as long as you love Ekiti and you love the people and you're committed to service, to humanity, he will embrace you. And that's really what he did, even when he was no longer in office. I mean, relatively speaking, he served for a very short time, for less than 2 years, as governor of Ondo State. But his service transformed Ondo State to what it is today. Because of the singular role he played in that short time to ensure that Ondo State was admitted into the Committee of All Mineral Producing States, and for his infrastructure development in that short time. And for those of us who became governors here in his own home state after we were excised from Ondo State, we were always there to drink from his fountain of knowledge. We thank God for his life, a life of service, a life of sacrifice, a life of selfless leadership, and a life of evangelical compassion to the people.
The closing hymn brought the service to a close. Born on April 13, 1940, the late Bamidele Olumilua got foreign certifications in development economics and law. He had a high-flying career in the public service as a career diplomat in the Ministry of External Affairs, traversing many positions, departments, and agencies within and outside the country. In 1977, he signed from the civil service and went into private business, establishing various companies and chairing various boards. He journeyed into politics in 1982, and in 1992, he contested and won the gubernatorial election under the platform of the Social Democratic Party, SDP, and was sworn in as the second executive governor of the old Ondo State, though he had a short-lived tenure due to the military junta, which saw to the removal of all political office holders following the annulment of the June 12 election norms when the country returned to democracy in 1999. He later retired to his hometown in Ikere, Ekiti, and took a back seat in political activities, serving as a source of wisdom for politicians and people who required his wealth of experience and political expertise to navigate the waters of politics and life generally. Little wonder dignitaries from all walks of life turned out en masse to pay the last respect to this icon. Amongst them are Ondo State Governor Arakunrin Rotimi Akeredolu, Ekiti State Governor Kayode Fayemi, former governors of Ekiti State Segun Oni and Ayo Fayose, former governor of Ondo State Dr. Olusegun Mimiko, among others. To further celebrate this man of ebullience grace, guests then converged at the Amoye Grammar School field for the reception. Under a very giant marquee, the feting of guests took place. From the seating arrangements to the flowery decorations, everything was immaculate. The enjoyments came in quick successions, especially with top gospel act Tope Alabi on the bandstand. And there was no dull moment as she dozed out great renditions in no small way. In response to this, guests joined the children of the deceased to dance excitedly. Most of the excitations, and especially the presence of gorgeous guests at every stage of the funeral, came courtesy of Baba's children and the legacy their dad left behind. It was therefore no surprise that the hearty guests in all their fineries brightened Ikere Ekiti with their showiness and classiness. And indeed, they all had the best of times. Surely, guests had the best of times till eventide, as Tope Alabi continued to make happy with the refreshingly thrilling blips. Redcarpet TV spoke to some of Baba's children and some guests.
The man was a real gift of God to the nation and to our both states. He was indeed a father, and we remember him forever.
One of the things that he mentioned to me before he passed on was that, Olumide, make sure that you put something back. Make sure that you put something back to society, to the community, you know. Make sure that you do something to impact the lives of others around you. He always said that. He's always encouraged us to be of service to those around us.
Dad was a great man. He had a great heart, and he was a man who lived his life passionately. He loved the Lord dearly, and he taught us also as his children to love the Lord and to serve the Lord. Another thing about my dad, even though I wasn't here, but we spent a lot of time on the phone. We used to chat a lot, and we used to talk about everything, and I would miss that a lot.
The fact that someone who was the priest of the family is gone. You know, those of us that are not as strong in Christianity as he is, we know that whatever we do, whatever trouble we get into, somewhere, somehow, somebody is praying for us. You know, so we miss that about it. I'll miss someone who counsels me, who tells me what to do, what not to do. Because, you know, I mean, nothing teaches like experience. And Baba has seen it all, he has been through it all. So when I'm, you know, at a crossroads, and I just want to advise me, you know, Baba was always there. But, you know, he's no longer there, that space is vacant now. He's a mentor, he's a destiny helper, and he's a man of God. He's the beginner of the God. He will never spare the Lord whenever you are doing anything that is not right. And our daddy is very true to the cross. He doesn't favor anybody. There's no favoritism in him. He says things the way he says it, no matter what it is.
It's hard to describe my dad because, as far as I'm concerned, he stands as the epitome of everything that is good. Such a good father, a loving man. He loved all of us individually, 15 of us, individually and equally. And it's amazing that when I was younger, I said I wanted to marry him because I saw him as the perfect gentleman. And honestly, we miss him so much. My father has the most charming smile ever. If my father smiles around you, you'll be forced to smile too. His laughter, his smile, everything is contagious, you know. Just a happy soul. I've not seen anyone like my father. I'm not saying it because he's my father, but because he's really an amazing man. He's a generous man. He's like a sincere person. He's loving. He's caring. He's responsible. He tells us the way of the Lord. He provided all we needed. And you know, there are sometimes we would feel like, oh, Daddy is depriving us of some things, but it's because he's teaching us to abound and to obey, basically. He would always tell us, there are people who don't have the kind of privilege you have. So learn to like maximize whatever you have. Don't be wasteful. Like, he taught us everything. So I am so happy we're celebrating him. He deserves this and much more. So I pray his gentle soul continues to rest in peace. He's a good man. He thought of the way of the Lord. You know, growing up, my father made sure that knowing God personally was something that was important to him. So we all know God, we all serve God, and my father made sure that we had all that we needed, not necessarily all that we wanted. We got everything that we needed, if you know what I mean. He did not indulge us in any way. We didn't have any entitlements about being a governor's daughter or a governor's son. We were like normal people, you know, take taxis. He didn't want us to feel like we had the world at our beck and call. We love him in death, we love him while he was alive, and we say to him all the time because he gave us the best and we will miss him. My father believed in me so much. I had a lot of confidence because it never shut me up. It allowed me to express myself. You know what I mean? My father allowed me to say my mind. A girl child should not be shut down. My father allowed you to express yourself however you feel. Say your mind, you know. He didn't shut us up. I'll miss the fact that I don't have anybody to say, Akeni Mama. My father calls me Akeni Girl. So when I got married, it switched to Akeni Mama, you know. I'll miss all that about him. And I love him very much.
My father was a good man. He genuinely loved God and loved human beings. And he was very compassionate. Well, I'll miss all the fun moments, all the times where I get to make his tea out while he's watching the network news. And I'll get to miss a lot of things, but I take solace in the fact that I know he's in a better place. The most excellency is Jesus. He would usually sing that song when people addressed him as His Excellency. So it was very humble. Shout hallelujah, amen. The most excellency is Jesus. Shout hallelujah, amen.
Baba is a very kind man. My father-in-law, I don't call him father-in-law, I call him my father-in-law. He's a very generous man. He's just an exceptional person. That is very, very amazing. So you can't just comprehend the kind of person he is. Sometimes I wonder, how can such a man have everything in him? And I thank God I'm married to a child that he says as in his own son. He's Baba, but I'm not still going to miss him because anytime I see my son, I see my father-in-law.
He was a very gentle soul and someone who loved and accommodated all. When my wife first introduced me to him, he kind of, I went for an interview and he asked me which school did I go to. I said Ibadan. I said, you have a plus there because I went to Ibadan too. Then again he said, what am I into? I said, I'm into farming. He said, and he said he too is into farming and he always appreciates people that are into farming. And so normally when we meet we exchange notes about farming. He didn't see me as a son-in-law, but as a son. That we have this beautiful, ending for him. Personally, he's been a wonderful father to me in every facet of it, and most of the time I remember him being very, willing to share his story and to inspire, a lot of us, and especially sitting down with him every time that I happen to be home, it's been very, very fatherly. He gave advice, and he was a man of vision. He will always, express his vision for his community, for his family, for us, in general, and I think I really appreciate that about him.
There is Bamidele Olumilua is our father in this town. He's a community leader. He's the one we normally run to whenever there is an issue. He has a listening ear and is always very patient with people. He's very generous and he has made not just a contribution to the development of Ikere as a town, Ondo State and Ekiti State together when he was a governor. He did the best. He's a great man.
From the Redcarpet TV crew, we celebrate with the Olumilua family on the successful burial of their patriarch, Evangelist Bamidele Olumilua, former governor of Ondo State.